It's the 19th century and women aren't allowed to adopt some professions. But this little girl dreams of becoming a fireman. Instead of changing her goals, she is ready to change her fate. This brave young girl is Georgia Nolan, who spends her day playing with her faithful dog Ember. Their favorite game is to pretend to be firemen who are on a mission to save people stuck in burning towers. Georgia got this fireman obsession from his dad, Captain Sean Nolan. He was the most famous and bravest fireman in New York. He saved numerous lives and was called a legend. But unfortunately, he couldn't save his wife. She died while giving birth to Georgia. Since then, Sean had to bring up Georgia all by himself. It wasn't possible to take care of her along with a tough profession, so Sean resigned from the job of a fireman and started working as a tailor. However, his passion was inherited by his daughter, and now she dreams to become a fireman and calls it her destiny. She is always doing risky tasks and believes she is training for the future, but her father always stays worried and keeps a strict eye on her. One time she almost broke her neck. Sean forbids her from playing any more of her fireman games, but he can't stop Georgia from dreaming. The only way to stop her is by telling her the bitter truth. They live in a conservative society, which thinks that women are not strong enough for the tough job of a fireman. That's why they don't hire girls. The rule may change one day, but it's not happening any soon, so Georgia should give up on her dream. This breaks the heart of the little girl, but she must accept the reality. After that day, Georgia never mentioned her dream ever again. Several years pass away and Georgia grows up into a beautiful woman. She has learned sewing as her father desired and helps in his tailoring work. They can prepare hundreds of pants in just a day and earn a satisfactory amount of money enough to lead a decent life. One day, Sean mentions that Georgia wanted to be a fireman when she was a kid, and her dream would have become a reality only if she was a guy. Georgia doesn't seem sad at all and acts like she doesn't care about it anymore. Little does her father know Georgia is still as passionate as before and secretly trains during the night. She wants to prove everyone wrong by becoming the first firewoman and legendary one indeed. While she was training, she heard a bunch of vehicles stopping at her house. It's New York's mayor, Jimmy Murray, who came to meet Sean. He tells him about an arsonist who has burned down 40 theaters by now. Mysteriously, no one has witnessed any flames. The buildings are left with just red and blue smoke and creepy music. The more alarming news is that all the firemen have disappeared. They went to the burned theaters to help but never came back and left no clue of their presence. New York has no firemen except one. The last man standing is Sean, and he is the most capable fireman of the city. So Jimmy wants him to investigate these fire incidents. It's not just about the fire department, the whole city is in danger. Sean eventually agrees, but he needs a small team, including a chemist, a driver, and an active fireman. Georgia heard the whole story, but she acted like she didn't know anything. Sean tells her that he has an emergency related to his tailoring work and must be out for a few days. Georgia doesn't question him at all, but as soon as he leaves, she starts her own plan. Georgia has decided to disguise herself as a man and join the fire department. Once she catches the arsonist and saves the city, they will be forced to change the rules and make her the first firewoman. She puts fruits and sawdust in her clothes to make muscles and takes some of Ember's body hair to make a fake mustache. Georgia also changes her voice to a manly version and heads to the New York firehouse in Manhattan. Her jaw drops on seeing all the fire rescue equipment from so close. It's like a dream come true. Suddenly, Sean reaches there, but he doesn't recognize Georgia. She introduces herself as Joe and claims to be a fireman who has been training for days. She joins other team members, which includes a young chemist named Ricardo, who doesn't seem to have a professional degree in science, and a driver named Jin, who lies having the legal age for this job. This is the best team Jimmy can find right now, as no one is willing to risk his life. They also don't have time to investigate Georgia's origin, as another theater is targeted by the arsonist. They all get on the truck and they drive towards the targeted location. Jin keeps taking weird shortcuts and puts everyone's life in danger, while Georgia is busy keeping her fake mustache in place. On reaching the theater, they witness the rumored colored smoke with their own eyes. Sean meets Captain Neal, chief of the New York Police Department, who assures that the building is evacuated already. Sean tells Georgia to connect the water pipe, but she forgets to check the pressure and keeps flying here and there along with the water pipe. Sean saves her and grabs the pipe. Afterwards, he uses the ladder to get inside the building with Georgia. Sean tells his daughter to stay close to him, but she sees something moving and follows it. It appears to be a figure hidden in the smoke who threatens Georgia and throws an orb at her. Sean calls Georgia, and they somehow manage to get out of the building safely. Sean gets really angry and scolds his team for their incompetence. Jin is an expelled driver from a cab company who falls asleep all of a sudden. Ricardo is a coward who can't do any research without the assistance of his mommy, and Joe lied about having professional training. Sean tells Georgia to never show her face, but she keeps begging to let her stay. She is not a professional, but being a fireman is all she ever wished for. Seeing her passion, Sean gives her another chance. The smoke has subsided, so they get inside the building to investigate. They reach the auditorium, but it makes them more confused. All the seats are burnt, but they are still standing in their place. Georgia steps on the stage and finds a weird pattern in front. It looks like the arsonist assumes himself as a performer who is presenting art on the stage. Georgia shows the orb she got from the arsonist, and Sean believes it may help them in the case. Jimmy is using this crisis to show off how great a mayor he is so he can get reelected. Georgia starts to suspect if Jimmy is involved with the arsonist, but Sean advises her not to jump to conclusions so soon. For the weekend, all the team members go home, and Georgia has to run like crazy because she must reach home before Sean. She gets late anyway and climbs to her room through the window. Luckily, Sean doesn't suspect anything and also believes that Georgia doesn't know where he actually was. Next week, Georgia dresses up in time and reaches the firehouse. She had also convinced Sean to take Ember with him, so the dog is not alone at home. Georgia has encouraged the team to work harder so Sean can trust them again. Ricardo has researched the orb, and it turns out to be a mixture of gunpowder and dynamite, but it is enclosed in an unbreakable glass shield. Jin is also working on learning about new routes, and he also installed an emergency punch to keep him awake. Meanwhile, Georgia has gathered all the proofs like photos and audios. Sean appreciates their efforts, but he believes Georgia needs more training. They use simulation rooms for this purpose, and Sean teaches Georgia that she must walk with a purpose. Before acting, she must analyze the situation and assess the risk. Seeing how passionate Joe is, Sean is reminded of her daughter without realizing that it's actually Georgia training with him. All the theaters are closed, but a singer named Miss Divine keeps coming back and insists on letting her perform her next show. Sean tries to explain the risk, but Miss Divine keeps performing and asks her assistant Pauline to pull up the ropes. Unfortunately, the pulls malfunctions and Miss Divine gets brutally injured. Pauline gets worried because she may lose her job. Georgia cheers her up and advises her to follow her dreams instead of working on petty jobs. Pauline believes it's easier for men, so Georgia reveals her actual identity to show how much she is doing just to achieve her goals. Suddenly, Jimmy passes by, and Georgia wonders what he is doing here. He goes inside a room and slightly plays a familiar music tune. Georgia recognizes it immediately. It's the music she heard from the arsonist. After getting back to the firehouse, Georgia suggests playing the music near the orb. It explodes and also hypnotizes Sean and Jin, while Georgia and Ricardo are fine as they weren't looking at the orb. Ricardo is frozen to his place as he is really a mommy boy, but Georgia keeps encouraging him. Ricardo finally gets in the senses and takes the victims outside while Georgia puts off the fire. Sean admires his team and accepts that they aren't that bad. Now they have figured out that the fire can be extinguished with water, so they set up water pipes in the auditorium. The security is really high, so no one can enter the theater without letting the police know. Georgia notices Pauline nearby, who announces that she is going to New City to follow her dreams. She just came to pick up some belongings from the theater. Georgia tells Pauline to hurry up as the theater is closing soon. Suddenly, the alarms start ringing. The arsonist tricked them and lit the fire in other places instead of the auditorium. Georgia tells Sean that Pauline is still inside, so they get in to save her. Georgia finds her, but the ground breaks and Pauline falls down. Georgia still wants to save her, but Sean believes they should leave the building otherwise. They will die too. Georgia gets really stressed after this incident because she wanted to be a fireman to save people. Sean tells her that he also once failed to save a couple from a burning house and got devastated, but his captain told him that if he wanted to be a real fireman, he has to accept that sometimes bad things happen and he can't do anything about it. He can only let it go. Georgia understands to agree to continue their mission. Jimmy comes there and announces that he is giving this investigation solely to the police department, and he thanks Sean for helping him in publicity of this case. This statement made Jimmy suspicious, so Sean and Georgia followed him. They reach the celebrity restroom and Sean tries to break in, but he accidentally falls on the injured Miss Divine, who is resting inside. They accidentally open a secret passage that leads them to an underground subway that seems to have been shut down years ago. Jimmy reveals that he is having a secret relationship with Miss Divine. That's why he kept visiting the theater and seemed suspicious. Sean apologizes to him and proceeds to investigate the tunnel with Georgia. They reach the air distribution channel, and it seems like the headquarters of the arsonist. After going through the documents, the firemen realized that the arsonist was a PhD in chemistry, but he wanted to become an artist. He got rejected several times, so he decided to create his own show with firebombs. After looking down the bridge, Georgia also finds all the lost firemen. They are alive but hypnotized by the arsonist. Sean gets really excited by their success and tells Georgia that he is proud of her. Hearing this, she reveals her identity, but Sean is still not willing to let her be a fireman. Georgia says he can't stop her from doing something that is in her blood, but Sean says it's not like her. She is not his real daughter. The couple he failed to save years ago handed their daughter to him. Sean promised to take care of her, so therefore, he never let her choose a risky career like being a firefighter. Before Georgia can reply, the arsonist reaches there and locks Sean in the chamber. The arsonist is no other than Pauline. She did this all because others didn't approve of her deadly art. She also invites Georgia to join her, as she is also not getting approval. But Georgia believes even if she can't be a fireman, she has fire in her heart, and no one can change that. Georgia rushes and saves her father while Pauline runs away for her next target. After waking up, Sean realizes that he can't stop Georgia from following her dreams. He tells her to get the team and the police while he will release the trapped firemen. Georgia gets the team and follows Pauline. They stop at the targeted building, and Pauline gets on the only elevator while Georgia follows her by hanging down on a rope. Pauline throws numerous bombs around the city, and then she gets ready to activate them with her music. Sean rushes to the adjacent building and tells Georgia to come back, but she continues her mission. She recalls all the things she has learned so far and figures out how to stop Pauline. She rushes and breaks the power cable to turn off the music. Pauline comes to stop her, but slips and hangs down along with Georgia. Luckily, Sean reaches with his team and saves both girls. After getting home, Sean tells Georgia about her biological parents, but she says that her father is Sean and she wants to become like him. After a few days, Georgia and her team are honored in front of the public and awarded gold medals. Despite all the unfavorable circumstances, Georgia finally has achieved her goals. When you believe in yourself and the fire in your heart, no one in the world can stop you from fulfilling your dreams.